We're here! We're queer! Get these fascists out of here! We're here! We're queer! Get these fascists out of here!
And you know that's like an ignorant way to stand, right? Like,
why?
You're over here, I tell you...
I'm actually half handicapped, so that's very offensive that you said that.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I can probably tell.
I'm super offended, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So lying and being a high conflict is part of your personality disorder. Why are you looking at women with your fucking eyes?
Are you a woman?
Oh my god, so you...
Oh, I didn't even know, I'm sorry.
Non-binary, so it doesn't really matter.
That's why I asked. I was trying to be polite. That's what you should do, right?
You can't be this stupid to say that looking at women, and then when he questions you to ask, are you a woman, you say that you're not a woman. This is what I mean by the ABCD community make absolutely no sense, and they fall into their own stupidity because they believe in stupidity.
Okay, quickly, so I misunderstand. Are we saying that 2 + 2, if you say it's 4, that's racist? I mean, that sounds like we may be mischaracterizing it. What, if you can quickly sum it up?
No, that's not mischaracterizing it at all. Math is basically racist under this ideology because it says there is no such thing as an objective reality. So 4 might not be the right number. 2 + 2 might actually equal 5.
Liberals are always saying, normalize this, normalize that. How about you just start acting normal?
What do you have to say when people say that you have internalized your racism?
Internalized racism is one of those foolish terms like toxic masculinity. They just made it up, right? I actually asked them, what do you actually mean? Are you suggesting that deep down inside what I want to do is to help create a society that I can't live in? Like, my idea is that, what can I do to disadvantage myself in this society? What can I do to make sure that my biracial children have a hard time in this society, right? You can't just say stuff. You can't just say words and not be asked to explain yourself. So explain to me how that would work. Why would any person in their right mind want to make a society in which they cannot flourish in, right? It's foolishness. It's to be ignored. Everything that I have done has been to expose the lies that have been keeping Black America down for the last 60 to 70 years. And I hope that my work speaks for itself, especially in the form of revealing the scam that is Black Lives Matter.
Thank you.
How come you guys care about life when it's inside the womb, but when it's outside the womb, y'all don't want free child care, you also don't want free formula. You guys won't do anything to stop these gun violence that are happening. They're killing these kids. I was in a shooting 5 years ago at Myrtle Beach. Yeah. And even though it was a false call, had it been real, some of us would have died. So if you're gonna say y'all are pro-life, that means life outside the womb. It absolutely does.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. That's why the pro-life movement has started and sustained 3,000. You won't even let me answer her questions. Would you like me to answer the question? If we want to talk about who Nazis are, you're kind of not acting very right.
To answer the question, which I think is really important, our generation cares about school shootings. We care about school safety, and we care about families. The best way that we can possibly support families is through the work that the pro-life movement is doing every single day. We are providing free child care. We are providing free formula. We are providing free health care for expectant mothers and their children every single day. I hate that you guys have made up your mind about people like me because of a post you saw on social media. When we're here to have a real dialogue and a real conversation.
If people rewind this and listen to what she just said, you will see what I mean by these people just say absolute nonsense. She literally just said that she was involved in a school shooting, but it was a false call, which means she wasn't involved in a school shooting. Make it make sense.
Do you think you can be healthy and obese at the same time?
I think you can, just because a lot of times it is super mental and it is literally genetic, where like sometimes you're eating healthy and your body literally, that's just how you look like.
Some people have to work way harder to be like more in shape, I guess.
Watching that whole video, I can tell you the combined IQ of the people in that video wasn't above 50. Before we get back into the video, I need everyone to turn on their post notifications so that you get notified whenever one of my videos come out. Like the video as much as possible, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow me on Twitter at YinkaThatGuy. Let us get back into the video.
If you are losing weight because you want to feel better, be in less pain, be healthier, all of these things, that's fatphobic.
So my poster reads, "Life begins when you understand living women matter more than potential babies."
If it's a potential baby, what is inside of a woman?
It's a fetus.
Is it living?
No.
How can it grow if it's not living?
Actually, that's like saying if an acorn is a tree.
When does the fetus become living?
That's actually a good question, but that line...
Yeah, of course, because you don't know it, because it's living. It's living. No, when is sustainability?
About like 30 weeks to born, like...
How do you sustain life? Like, my newborns aren't sustainable. You can't just have a newborn and they just like live on their own, right?
Right.
Is a newborn not worthy of life? Is a newborn not worthy of life?
Him, Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's her. You're not being polite to the pronouns.
Because
disrespect.
Okay, forget about the disrespect. Facts don't care about your feelings. It turns out that every chromosome, every cell in Caitlyn Jenner's body is male, with the exception of some of his sperm cells. It turns out that his brain structure is male. It turns out that he still has all of his male appendages. How he feels on the inside is irrelevant to the question of his biological status.
You're not educated on genetics.
Would you like to discuss the genetics?
Well, no.
What are your genetics?
Zoe, I'd stay away from the genetics and back to the brain scans. You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
In this day and age, people just love to play victim and complain about everything, and woe is me, I'm a victim. You can be a man if you're a woman, and you can be a woman if you're a man, which is absolute baloney. It's all delusion, and these people are devoid of reality.
Should he grab my hand?
What are your pronouns?
They, them.
Why?
Because I'm non-binary.
What are your pronouns?
She, her.
And why?
I don't know, that's just what they are. What are your pronouns?
Lord or King.
Cool.
What are your pronouns?
They, them.
Why?
Because that's how I identify.
Jane, you think that parents should ask their children's consent when they are babies to change their nappy?
So how did your little boy, aged 3 months, communicate to you that it was okay to change his nappy?
It's not the okay, it's the respect.
How do they give consent?
Well, that you can see in a body, in the body energy of any human being.
Talk me through it. Show me what he would do.
Well, if a baby...
I just want to let everyone know that the person that they're asking these questions to is supposedly a specialist. If this is what we call a specialist in the West, then we are doomed.
We're fat girls. We eat what we want when we want to.
We're fat girls. Of course we're going to ask for a table instead of a booth.
We're fat girls. Of course I ordered enough to have leftovers.
We're fat girls. Of course I'm learning to honor my hunger cues. We're fat girls. Of course we save some for later.
We're fat girls. Of course we take up space. Sorry, not sorry.
We're fat girls. Of course we're unlearning generational fat phobia.
We're fat girls. We're worthy exactly as we are.
I ask you what you identify as.
Identify?
Ethnicity.
I identify as an American.
Not an African American?
Yeah, I had to work on my own merits and pretty much promote the principles I believe in, which is freedom, equality for all, which I believe that America does. And that's how I got elected into my position. I didn't get elected into my position because of the color of my skin or do any race baiting stuff that it seems like you're promoting here.
I can't take a grown adult seriously who can't even say the word ethnicity correctly and talking about how they're oppressed as they usually do. You're not oppressed, you just like to complain about everything because it's the easy thing to do.
Guys, to the people that are dressed up as clowns, you guys can literally come to the front. I'm just going to let them go first, just because I promised them, and then...
All right.
Thank you.
All right, listen. I have to hold the mic, okay? Okay.
Hi.
Okay, who's going first?
Is there still a mask policy here?
Hi.
Pardon? I just want to make sure I can hear you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, great.
Okay.
So you like to learn, right? What did you learn from the Christchurch mosque shooting where 51 people died at the hands of someone who is influenced by you above all other people? How did you change your rhetoric after this person shot 51 people?
Great question. So what she is referencing, one of the craziest media firestorms I've ever been in my life, in New Zealand is what she's talking about. There was a mosque shooting, and at 51, I'll take your number for it, people lost their lives. And apparently, and I actually haven't followed up on the story because I've never been to New Zealand. I don't talk about mosques. I don't talk about Muslims, so it would be very weird if this would have anything to do with me. But apparently, they said that there was a online manifesto. I don't even know if that was officially attributed or if that was just early press. But they found a manifesto of the shooter online somewhere. Again, this was alleged early. I don't know if they've since debunked that. And apparently, the person listed Nelson Mandela as his #1 inspiration, alongside Spyro the Dragon, which I believe is a child's cartoon, Spyro the Dragon. Maybe it's a video game, I don't know. And Candace Owens. Yeah, you know, I didn't feel like there was a lesson other than people are crazy, and we shouldn't give credence to homicidal maniacs when they're putting together cartoons and people that fought against apartheid plus a random American in their thought process. So I learned that that was clearly an ill person, and that any person who believed or gave credence to a manifesto should probably re-examine why that is. That's what I learned. Thank you very much for your question. Next.